Hello y'all, and welcome back to another speed build, where today we are doing a Georgian plantation house. And today we have a very special guest. It's my cat, Ginkgo, who is sitting on my lap and has decided she doesn't really feel like moving at this point in time. So let's just hope that, she's gone. Okay, never mind, it's fine. Anyway, this is the next installment in my US state builds, and it's been a while. I know, but we're back. We're trying this again. We are back at it again, as one might say, but we're here. I'm working on the outside of the house right now, and I took inspiration from, plantation style houses, but I guess they're technically called early classical revival houses or something, but it's a plantation style house. That's what we went for. So it took me a little while to kind of figure out what I was going to do with this little top section. Sometimes plantation houses look like they literally have like an empty section at the top of their roof, and I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to make that work. So it took me a little while. I had to go through a couple of different iterations and a couple of different items that I placed up there to kind of figure out what was going to work the best, but eventually we figured out. I don't know if it's practical in real life houses, but this is The Sims, so real life doesn't really mean anything. But yeah, so I finished that, and now I'm working on the exterior facade, I guess. It's completely made out of brick and all of that fun stuff. The front is very ornate and out there. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Ornate's pretty much the word that I'm looking for, obviously. But yeah. How's everyone's Animal Crossing Islands doing, by the way? The new Nature Day update came out for Animal Crossing, what was it, on the 23rd, the day after Earth Day. I'm a big fan. I've planted a bunch of bushes around my island. I'm in love. I've met Red. I met Leaf. What else has happened? Oh, my Nook's Cranny has been updated or upgraded or whatever. It's bigger now. It looks so nice. Timmy and Tommy have the cutest little aprons on. They're like little flower shop attendants. I love it. My museum is being upgraded. Things are happening. A lot of crazy stuff is happening on the island of Palomino in my Animal Crossing game. But I'm now working on the greenhouse for this house. I did skip over pretty much all of the landscaping because I kid you not, I probably spent 6 hours building this house. So if you wanted to see the entire thing, it would have taken freaking forever. But I skipped over a lot of the landscaping. In the front of the house, as you could probably see in either the thumbnail or some of the screenshots later on, or throughout the build or whatever. There is a smaller garden up front that's open and has a little archway into it. It's very cute. You can kind of get a little glimpse of it right here, but that's just a front facade garden. I wanted to put something there, but I wasn't exactly sure. And then I was like, oh, I want to make this a gardening house, I guess, or something like that. So it's a garden, but then there's also a greenhouse in the back that has a bunch of other plants. The plants that are in the planters right now are the landscaping plants for in the game, but I mean, you can obviously switch those out as you want if you wanted to use this house for gameplay and all that kind of stuff. But I'm moving on into the interior now. I'm working on the floor plan, which actually wasn't that bad in comparison to some of the houses that I've built and some of the floor plans that I've tried to create in the past, but it took me a little bit to kind of figure out exactly what I was going for. I am a southerner, so I've seen a lot of plantation houses in my time, and so they're all semi laid out the same, where it's fairly symmetrical. Once you go upstairs, there's a very long, or there's a lot of hallway space in these types of houses for some reason. So there is a nice big long hallway that kind of looks like a J up in the upstairs area. That's how you get to all of the different rooms. There are 4 bathrooms and 4 bedrooms in this house, so she's a chunky house. There's 1 bathroom downstairs and 3 bathrooms upstairs. 2 of the bedrooms have an ensuite bathroom. The other 2 do not. As you'll see later on, all 4 of them are decorated with a double bed. They're adult rooms. I was considering making at least one of them a children's room, but I opted not to because 1, I didn't know which room I was going to make a kid's room. And I didn't really have a family in mind for playing this house, so I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to go for. So it's very simple and basic, applicable for a lot of different people. And then if you guys want to take this house and use it in your game, game, you can obviously change out the furnishings and add some extra stuff to make it like kid-friendly, toddler-friendly, whatever it is that you want it to be. There are no toys or anything in this house. It's very fancy, okay? So, but yes, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I decorated all of the bathrooms. I think there was one bathroom I haven't decorated that I decorate later that I leave in for you guys to see, but I decorated all the other bathrooms, and I just finished the dining room, which has a beautiful fireplace in it. And then I will continue on and do I do the kitchen next? I don't even remember. But what else is going on in the world? Does anyone have anything they're watching on TV right now? Me and my fiance are sorta kinda ish watching Silicon Valley on Hulu, because I guess HBO is doing like HBO Unlocked on Hulu for the whole, thing that we're going through at the moment, which I'm very appreciative of, because I have never paid for HBO because that's too expensive. It's just, no. But I don't know how I feel about Silicon Valley. It's probably an unpopular opinion because I feel like I've heard a lot of good things about Silicon Valley, which is why we started watching it in the first place. However, I'm just not really a huge fan. You can come for me in the comments if you would like to. I fully expect that. What's his name? Ulrich Bachman, the one guy, the guy that with the beard. I really don't like him. He bothers me. I don't like his demeanor. I don't like his attitude. I just don't like him at all. And so I have such a hard time kind of getting into the show because I really just don't like him. But yeah, I would like to know if there's anything else on that I should watch. I'm not really a huge TV person. I don't know. The only show that I've ever really truly done, there's two shows that I've really truly ever gotten through, and it is Bones and Grey's Anatomy. So if that tells you anything about me, there you go. Now you know everything about me, because those are the only two shows that I've ever really committed to finishing, and both of those shows have like 15 seasons. So everything else, I get halfway through it and then I stop watching it or something, or I just can't get into, I don't know. I'm getting off track. Anyway, I finished the kitchen and just back onto the house like nothing even happened. But I finished the kitchen, and then I also added what's called a butler's pantry, which I wasn't sure if I wanted to add that in the beginning, but then I was like, screw it. I'm just going to do it anyway. From what I looked up on Google, what entails a butler's, what's included in a butler's pantry, and just seems like it's essentially a tiny kitchen. Usually I think it's in between the kitchen and the dining room though, whereas in this case, obviously it's not. So it's not really, I guess, a true butler's pantry, but I put the little juice rack in there. So maybe it can just be a juice storage place or something, I guess. I don't know. But now I'm moving on into the living room. This is the quote-unquote informal living room where they have the TV and stuff. I wanted to put built-ins because I feel like that would be fairly common in a build like this. I considered at one point using shelves and making it, but I was lazy and I just didn't really feel like going through all the hassle of putting shelves on the wall and cabinets and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe another time in the future, but not today. I didn't feel like it. But yeah, now I'm just putting down some clutter and everything for the different house. Let's see, what other shows have I watched recently? I watched The Innocence Files on Netflix. I am super into true crime type. I guess like I just said, I've watched Bones and Grey's Anatomy, so who's really surprised? But that is the field that I'm going into, is crime, psychology, and all that kind of stuff. So stuff like The Innocence Files really gets me going. But I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I think there was a Netflix documentary on Ted Kaczynski that I think is out. I could be wrong. Am I making that up? No, there's no way I'm making that up. Anyway, yeah, let me know if you know who that is. He's a hoot and a half, very interesting stuff. But anyway, I moved on to the formal living room now, or the parlor room, where there's obviously a grand piano. There's also a fireplace facade, just because, I don't know, I thought it looked nice. I spend quite a bit of time on that bookshelf. I wanted to put a bunch of different clutter. Right now I'm working on the chair, but I move on to the bookshelf, and I spent a lot of time figuring out what I wanted to put on the bookshelf because I wanted there to be more clutter on it. but the shelves, you know, so in The Sims, tea time. In The Sims, things, they either snap, or you can see it there, that will either snap to a place or you have to place it manually. And I found out that each of those shelves on that bookshelf is like in between the height snapping points for like every single object in The Sims, which I have a beef with that because that's totally unfair. I would like to be able to manually place something on a shelf and it always be the right height for said shelf. You know, like you would think that most of the shelf heights in this game are like the same, like they have different grid snapping points horizontally, that they would also have them kind of like vertically, if that makes any sense at all. I'm not sure if it does, but I need to download the OMSP shelf. I just still have not got around to doing it, apparently. It's fine. I changed out a bunch of the curtains because I wanted there to be more light coming into the house. So that's why they all changed. And now I'm moving on to the upstairs where I put a little desk and stuff in this little like landing area, I guess, because there was a lot of space. Other than that, this landing area is pretty basic. There's not really a lot in it. I think I put some plants in the little corner. And then, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty, does anyone really know how to decorate hallways? Because I really don't. Not in real life or in The Sims. All hallways are bare because I don't know what you put in them unless they're big enough that you can put like console tables or like bookshelves or something. But I don't know anyone that has a bookshelf in their hallway. I'd have to think about that. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe. But like I feel like most hallways in real life are also empty. So I don't know. That's it. But yeah, so these are the 4. Oh, this is the bathroom that I did not do so that you guys could, I guess, see me doing it if anyone is super fascinated in watching a bathroom. But it's all of the same plumbing as the other bathrooms. It's just a very kind of weirdly long shaped bathroom. And I kind of didn't realize how long it was until after I started like decorating it. I was like, this is a really long bathroom. But at this point, I was too deep in. I was not about to change my floor plan. It was just a no. So I feel like I've seen bathrooms that are elongated and weird, but it's fine. I think this is the master bedroom. Yes, this is the master bedroom that we're doing right now. And then I think this is the smallest bedroom, but it does have an ensuite attached to it. So do with that what you will. And now I'm actually going to start decorating them, which is a whole hoot and a half. So what else is going on in this world? I don't even know. It's really hard to know what to talk about in voiceovers because you're literally just staring at a computer screen and talking to yourself. But it's fine. I mean, I guess people talk to themselves on a fairly regular basis, right? I mean, not like talk to themselves on like a regular basis. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, every time you gotta like go through things with yourself and just make sure like, what am I doing? I don't even know. But yeah. Now I'm cluttering this bedroom up. This was one of the bedrooms I actually considered turning into like a kid's bedroom because it's kind of small-ish. It was after I decorated, I think, the 3rd bedroom that I was like, I probably should have made one of these a kid's bedroom or like a teen's bedroom, you know, something like that, but I didn't, so it's fine now. This room is actually probably my favorite room because... Did I move that window? Are those windows the same height now? I don't even know. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to check that later. But I like these little pendant lights that are down by the, down over the, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my god, the side tables, the end tables, whatever the heck they're called. I like that. I think it looks really cool, you know? It's just, I don't know, it adds interest. It's not something that you see every single day. Most of these bedrooms are really simple, so I think that was probably the most interesting aspect. It also added a lot of extra light into the room that, because there's a lot of like brown woods in this build, it kind of needed. So I probably should have gone back in and put some more lights in other rooms, but like I said, when you guys, or if you guys want to use this build, you may change X, Y, and Z's thing as much as you please. I think I did move that window. Okay, good. Yeah. This is the same. Phew! Thank God, because I would have been kicking myself if those windows were different heights. That would have been really disappointing. I think this is the smallest bedroom. I mean, I don't actually know. It just looks pretty small, but it does have an ensuite attached to it. So maybe this is like a teen bedroom or like, I don't know, in-law room or something of that nature. Anyway, I don't really know, but yes. Now we're moving on to the outside, which I did like most of the basic landscaping, but now I'm doing like the outside. So like I'm adding a pool, as you can see here, and like adding a patio. Since I ended up extending this out to fit a pool, I decided to use floor tiles rather than like the paint, because it's just easier. So, and I added a hot tub. What I would really like to be able to do is, I mean, I'm sure that you can do it like in a certain way, like cheaty do it, but I don't even know if it would work. I haven't even considered trying it, but is being able to build like a decking around a hot tub so that it looks like it's an in-ground hot tub rather than like an above ground hot tub. I'm sure someone's done it. I'm sure it can be done. I don't know if it would be usable though. That's the thing. That's always the question about like adding little cheaty bits here and there to the game, is it usable? But yes, so I'm just putting the finishing touches on the outside, and we are now about to hit up to the screenshots. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye!